Welcome back, everyone, to the IBJJF podcast. My guest today is Cole Abate. In 2023, Cole won the Europeans, the Pans, the Worlds, and the Asian Championships. Also got promoted to black belt. We're going to get to all of that. Cole, how you doing today?
Man, feeling great. Actually, traveling later on today to Australia, so I've got a super fight out there, and that'll be the debut at black belt. So busy start as soon as I get the black belt, but I'm ready for the challenges that are going to be coming my way.
That's amazing. So I wanted to start with your weight class for 2023. You kind of went up to lightweight. You made a little bit of a change to your weight class. You're competing at featherweight quite a bit. Did all your tournaments this year at lightweight. Can you talk about that weight class? And do you feel like you found a home in the lightweight division this year?
Yeah, so I mean, since purple belt, really, I think the one of the last ones I did at featherweight was Worlds as a purple belt, and that was
Yeah.
one where I closed out with Gustavo, and we won featherweight Worlds. Up until that point, I had already been competing featherweight pretty much my entire career as an adult. My body was still growing, so I knew there was still some room for growth. And right now, we're still like deciding. That's still like stuff that's in the talks. I've been competing at brown belt lightweight division for the past few months. At the start of or at the end of my purple belt run was at lightweight as well. I fought Europeans as a lightweight that time as well. So I mean, I feel good in that weight class. I feel strong for the weight class. We're still deciding. I know we have a few teammates at that weight class, so I mean, there's a lot of different strategies that we can go through and that we're talking about right now. But we'll see how it plays out, and it'll be a surprise for everybody.
So you mentioned that you won the Europeans at purple belt this year, lightweight division. Then you won the Pans and the Worlds at brown belt. Were you pretty impressed with the caliber of the opponents that you faced? I know you had some pretty dominant performances, but I feel like in the color belt divisions, as the years go on, the level just keeps getting higher and higher. So can you talk about the level of your opponents this year at the color belts?
Yeah, I mean, man, anytime you're getting to like purple belt adult, brown belt adult, those are all like the guys that you see at the top of the podium are people that are really training as professionals and want to make a career out of the sport as a competitor. It's rare that you see somebody that just trains for fun that's like at the top of the division. It's like it's there's a level of dedication that goes into it. So I mean, when you go to big tournaments like Worlds, Pans, and Europeans, you have to expect the best of your competitors. And of course, there's going to be people traveling from pretty much all over for those big tournaments. So I got to face a lot of different competitors going up through those colored belts and fighting at the big tournaments. Definitely, they were all tough opponents. But the goal was never to focus on a certain person or somebody specific that I knew that would be coming from another team or coming from another country that would be tough. It's always been on the black belt, and I think that whenever you focus on setting yourself at a higher standard than your division, it really doesn't matter who you face. You put yourself you put yourself on a pedestal basically, and you're forced to elevate your level to whatever you're trying to get to. And I always pictured myself being in the black belt finals at Worlds and fighting with the toughest guys in the sport. And I think that's always allowed me to be at my best whenever it came to those tournaments like that. And it really didn't matter who the opponent was. Of course, we always have game plans and strategies prepared for the person. But if you have a higher technical level than everybody else, it's easy to adapt getting closer to the tournament, and then just decide the strategy that's best in order to beat that person. So that was kind of the thought process going through those belts. Is like my professor always told me that those were stepping stones, and
Yeah.
just every big tournament was just preparing me more and more for the black belt. So of course I wanted to go out there, show good jiu-jitsu, and put on dominant performances. But I knew that would be the result of focusing on getting to the black belt level as fast as I could. So that was kind of what we were trying to do. And I feel I did a great job of that. I feel I finished pretty much most of my fights. There were a few guys that I didn't finish, and of course there were always adjustments being made after the fact. But I feel that I did a good job of always working to get the finish. I mean, the goal is always 100% finish rate. So if I'm not able to finish everybody, then that means there's work to do, and that's what I've been focusing on in this lead up to black belt. So now starts a new chapter. I just received my black belt in Japan, so really happy right now and ready for what's to come.
Did you have a favorite performance out of the first three major championships of the year, the Europeans, Pans, and Worlds? I know they were all pretty dominant, but was there one
Mm-hmm.
that stood out where you felt like you were really firing on all cylinders?
I think looking back now, I like the way I performed at Pans just because man, there was a lot of improvement that happened between Europeans and Pan Ams, and I
Mhm.
feel that the improvements I made between that time period is what like put me on a different level. I think I fought really good at Worlds too. I think that was a really special one, just because I knew it would be probably my last one as a brown belt, and I went out there and finished most of the fights. There were two fights that I didn't finish against two tough competitors, but I like seeing the improvement from Europeans and comparing that to my Pans performance. I think I had a tough division. I had a tough division at Europeans, but I think there were more tough guys at Pan Ams as a brown belt, and I feel that I showed a lot of improvement between then and the next event. So I think one of the things that I improved on a lot between Europeans and Pan Am's was just being able to control kind of the hype of fights that people are talking about. A lot of times there's people that are saying that, oh, it's going to be a crazy match because we've got this tough guy come from Brazil. They've never fought before, and I fought a competitor from Brazil at Europeans. Was a dominant performance. Didn't get scored on or anything, but I feel that I could have showed more in the match in my finals match at Europeans, and I was able to face that guy's teammate who at the time won the same division but at brown belt. So
Yeah.
the guy ended up fighting at Pans in the semifinals. Was the guy that I fought in the finals, his teammate from Europeans, and he had won Europeans at brown belt. So I knew that if that guy was a higher belt than the guy I fought in the finals at Europeans at purple, that the guy's probably pretty tough, and they trained together. So I know that they would come with a strong strategy, a strong game plan, and going out there and being able to finish him, I think gave me a lot of confidence for the rest of the tournament. And I think that gave me the confidence that I needed to recognize that there had been improvement from purple belt to brown belt, and that it would be easy to keep leveling up if I maintained the work that I was doing. So that's kind of how I looked at that going forward past Pan Am's, and there was still a lot of improvement made from Pan Am's going into Worlds, and I was happy with the results for sure.
So you mentioned it before, but that brings us to your next tournament, the Asian Championships. So what was your motivation to travel all the way out to Japan to compete at the Asian Championships this year?
Traveling to Japan, it was something that I'd never done before. I've always wanted to travel to Japan, and it's always been a really cool place that I've seen a lot of my teammates travel to and compete at. And especially because, man, looking back, I think one of the most memorable performances in Japan was from my professors, Guy and
Yes.
Hafa, when they went out and did pretty much the best highlight you could possibly do. And it's a video that people watch till this day, and like just watching them both compete over there and like show their jiu-jitsu, show top and bottom, just like amazing moves, and in a competition environment, it's pretty hard to do what they did at that tournament. So I mean, that kind of inspired me to go out there and want to do a little bit of the same. Is go out there, show my jiu-jitsu, go to a place I've never been to before, and meet the Japanese community. I know I have a lot of friends that are from there, a lot of teammates that are from there, and they told me how great it was. So it was an amazing trip, and to top it off, I received the black belt from Professor Guy. Was actually the black belt of Professor Hafa that he used to wear in Japan, and was given to in Japan. So I mean, it made it even more special, and I couldn't think of a better way for that promotion to happen. And it just seemed like everything played out perfect in my head. It was like everybody that supported me was there. All of the fans were amazing. Everybody was super respectful. It's just a different level of love for the sport. That's what I noticed there. And man, it was amazing. I had my mom watching from back home. I FaceTimed her right after the match. Of course, my dad was there to cheer me on. And man, it makes me look back and feel grateful for everything that's happened. And there's nothing I would change. Ever since a kid, I feel like everything had been building to that moment, and everything had fallen into place. And there have been ups and downs, but I think that like that's what made me into the person that I was that day. And I was deserving of the black belt, and that's what Professor Guy saw in me, and he thought it was the right moment to give me the black belt, and for it to be done on the mats. That's even better. I know there's a lot of different ways you can get promoted, but that one was pretty cool. It was pretty special. One I'll never forget for sure.
That's amazing. So that moved your 2023 record to 29-0, 25 submissions. I believe that's an 86% submission rate. You got your
Mhm.
black belt in Japan. Some incredible experiences. So did those experiences surpass your expectations going into 2023?
I mean, I like I said, I always hold myself to high standards and expect the best of me. 86% submission rate is pretty nice. I know
Yeah.
it's a high percentage, but the goal is always 100. So I mean, the goal now is going to be to raise that percentage up, especially going into the black belt. I want to go into the terms that I'm going to competing next, and I want to set a statement, showing that like I'm here to stay and I'm here to win and dominate. So I wanna do kind of like what Tynan did. Like I feel that he had a really good start to his run at black belt. He got his black belt, wasn't satisfied, and like went out there and started competing as much as he could. Tried to fight as many of the tough guys in the division as he could before he got to Worlds. So by the time he did get to Worlds, he pretty much fought with everybody that had a name in the division.
Yeah.
So I mean I think that gives you a lot of experience going into Worlds. I mean I have a little under a year until the World Championships, and the goal is going to be to fight as many tough guys in the division that I've been watching for a while fight in this division, and I'm going to try to gain as much experience as I can before then, and go in there and try to win Worlds as the first year.
So you mentioned it a couple times already, but you've been studying the top black belts in your division. I'm sure multiple divisions, featherweight,
Mm-hmm.
lightweight, maybe middleweight. Can you talk
Mm-hmm.
about some of the strategies that you've used to watch those black belts? Who have you watched and what divisions have you watched coming up through the ranks?
I mean, I think it's always important to focus on the people that are the best in the division, that are making themselves different from the rest. And I think looking back at whenever I was a few belts ago, when I was a green belt, blue belt, and looking forward to what divisions I was fight. Like I said, I didn't really know how big I was going to get. So as you said, I was watching a couple different divisions, and I think watching featherweight, I think the person that was able to separate themselves from the rest of the division the best was Professor Hoffa. The way he went out and pretty much dominated every year, and he started. I think he started. He has a good story because he started as a black belt, not winning just yet. He went and fought Cobrinha a couple times at first. Didn't get the victory, but you saw that every single time he fought Cobrinha, it was like getting closer and closer. Then it started getting to decisions. Then it started getting to dominating on points to eventually getting submissions. And I think that's a cool story to look back on. Is like he started brand new as a black belt, debuting, and he just kept collecting experience, kept collecting experiences, and I think that took him to a new level. And both him and Tynan had that same mentality of going out there and just trying to fight as much as they could to just gain as much experience at this first start of the black belt. And I think that's what makes the difference. So I mean, I just got my black belt a few weeks ago, and I'm already traveling today to go compete. This time will be a nogi event in Australia, and then after that, we'll look at what the next events are. I know I'm going to be combining and competing in both gi and nogi for the next few months, and it'll be a pretty busy schedule. So I think whenever I get back, the next one will probably be the one in Kazakhstan with the Moldova team. So it'll be like a team tournament that they're going to be having out there. So I'm excited for that as well. And then it'll be focusing on the gi as well, getting ready for the next super fights, getting ready for the next tournaments, and just trying to fight the best. And I think that I've been studying this division for a while, so I kind of know what to expect. My teammates have both been dominating in their divisions. John has been killing it at lightweight for the last few years. He's already got a lot of experience, and I've seen him fight pretty much all the top guys in lightweight division. And then of course Tyna's reign at middleweight has been something amazing to see. So I mean, getting to see them kind of sets the blueprint
Yeah.
for how my run should be. And I think those are the three main people that I'd say like I've been inspired by watching as I've been coming up the ranks. And I think they set a good example of how to start at black belt. They all came in beating big names and basically just showing that they're there to stay. And that's kind of my mentality going into this first phase.
Yeah, they definitely hit the ground running from the start of black belt, just like you said. You've got a super fight coming up at the IBJJF Absolute Grand Prix Friday, September 1st. We're super excited for this fight. You're going to be taking on Eduardo Dudu Granzotto from Checkmat. Really great opponent, purple belt world champion, brown belt European champion. How excited are you to be part of a card of that magnitude?
Man, I think it's going to be great. I think pretty much anytime they have those IBJJF Grand Prix, it's always something everybody stops what they're doing and tunes in to watch, right? So
Yes.
I think it'll be cool too. I'll have some of my teammates competing on the card as well, and that's definitely a match that's very interesting. I think the public will like to hear being announced. We're both fairly new black belts, of course, me being a little bit newer, but I think it'll be a good match. He's somebody that has fought a lot of the people that I've faced already. So I've seen a couple of his matches with people that I've fought and have a good idea of what to expect. And of course, I've had teammates that have fought him as well. So I'll be training with them, and it's very easy to gauge where I'm going to be at based on the way they fought with him. And I think I'm pretty confident going into it that it'll be a great match. But I'm gonna try to go in with the same mentality and go in there to build to a submission and show dominant jiu-jitsu that the public will like to see. But I think it'll be a great match. I know he's a tough competitor. He's had some great accomplishments already, like you said, and I can't wait.
Yeah, he had some great matches with your teammate Zach Kina, one in gi, one at the no gi worlds, I believe, and those were always really close matches. I'm sure you've seen those. Have you been
Yeah.
studying Eduardo in terms of those matches and even just beyond that in his performances at the major gi championships?
Of course, I think Zach's a really good teammate that I have, and we're really close friends. And when I was Zach's a little bit older than me, so when I was a blue belt, when I was a green belt, he was always like a belt ahead of me and
Mhm.
a few years older. So it was always cool to see like their battles. They always had really back and forth matches, and I think having him as a teammate will definitely help in the preparation for this. Uh, I'm pretty sure that Pablo Lavasili also fought Dudu. I think it was like a local tournament. I'm not sure if they fought or if they were in the same division, but Pablo ended up winning the division. But I think that'll be a good reference point for sure too whenever it comes to studying. So I have both those teammates to help me out that have experience fighting against Dudu.
So for all the jiu-jitsu fans who are going to be tuning into that, what can they expect from that match?
I think you can expect some beautiful jujitsu. Like the same way I always go out and try to put on a dominant performance is what I'll be doing. I feel that I have jujitsu that's complete, and I can work from top and bottom. So I hope to go in and put on a performance where it doesn't matter what exchange we get to. I'm always leading the pace of the match, and every step of the match is initiated by me until I'm able to get a submission.
Awesome. Well, we're super excited to watch you compete at black belt. I know you've got a lot of other stuff going on too. Teaching is a really big part of your career. You lead the Nogi program at AOJ, and I believe you're involved in the kids program as well. So, can you talk about those opportunities and just what those experiences have taught you?
I mean, teaching has been a passion of mine since I was young. Really, since I started like outgrowing the kids class when I was younger. I was always like a little assistant that would help out during the kids class and would help the younger kids. And I think seeing people that were older than me, seeing people that were a few years ahead of me, really helped me take notes as a kid and help develop my skills as a coach and as a professor. And of course, as I've moved to AOJ, one of the biggest schools in the world, not only because of their competitors, but also because of the way they run classes and teach here. I feel it's a different philosophy, a different way of thinking, and there's a different level of professionalism here at the gym. And I think it's something really cool to see. I mean, we have people coming from all over the world, one to train, but we have a lot of times we have professors that come travel here just to see how we run classes.
Mhm.
And I think that's something else to note that doesn't really get a lot of attention. I know people come here to train, but a lot of people come here to see how we run things at the gym, and people want to learn like what's the secret recipe behind it. And I think it's something that I'm really best blessed to have because it's not everybody that gets to be in a system like this where you're kind of brought up uh, focusing on both careers. I feel like that's like one of the things
Yeah.
that makes the academy different. Is it feels like I'm at like a university, like the best university you can be at, but I'm learning to be the best competitor I can be while still maintaining a strong image as a coach and as an athlete. So I think it allows me to build both sides of that career, so that in the future I'm not limited to only having one path to success, and I'll be able to open an academy of my own one day. So I mean, I've been running the kids classes since I got here. Really, been helping out with the kids classes and teaching different ages at the gym. And I mean, you see what they're doing at Pan Kids right now.
Yeah,
They've had amazing results at Pan Kids and at the previous tournaments leading up to it. So I mean, I think that goes to show you that our work is paying off. And then about 2 years ago, I started with the Nogi program. They gave Professor Gianhoff allowed me to run that program. So I've been pretty much the face of the Nogi program at the gym, and I think it's a huge responsibility to have. And I hope that with my success as an athlete and competing in Nogi and constantly developing my skills as a professor, we can start to grow that program even more. I mean, it's already gotten to a point where the mat that we were using before got too small, and now we had to open up a new slot to train at so that we can
that's
have enough
awesome.
people on the mat. So I mean, it shows that the work is it's working. So I'll be continuing that same work and looking to improve in both areas. And actually, right now I'm working on releasing my first masterclass. I think it'll be something very cool, something very different that I don't think has ever been done before. I'll let it be a surprise, but it'll be a treat for everybody. I think people from all ages will enjoy it. So pretty soon we'll be announcing that.
That's amazing. Well, you started training when you were 5, and when you started training, you were taking it very professionally from the beginning. I think back then there were probably less people who were at that age taking jiu-jitsu that seriously, but now
Hmm.
there's a lot, and there's a lot at AOJ. Like you mentioned, there's kids competing at Pan, kids who are super high level from AOJ. So do you feel like that experience, starting when you were 5, going through all those color belt ranks and competing at the highest level that you could, do you feel like that helped you a lot teaching the kids and gave you a lot of lessons that you could pass on to them that could help them?
Definitely, I think I think training since a kid and training at a high level and training very professional put me at a level where I was able to. Now I'm able to understand what the kids that are trying to make careers out of jiu-jitsu is like, what's going through their head. And I think being at the academy that I'm at now really just provides the environment that's perfect for that. It's the perfect recipe for somebody that's trying to make a career out of it. And I think with every age group, with every generation, there's always like the up and comers, and then there's people that are a few years older that they're able to look up to. I think people are always it's always easier for somebody to look up to somebody that's a little closer in age to them. And I think that's kind of what I've been at AOJ. Is since I got there, I was like a 14-year-old green belt, but Tynan and John, those are the guys that were a few years ahead of me. Zach was a few years ahead of me, and those are the people that I had around me the most. So, I mean, those people were the ones that were inspiring me and pushing me every day, and that I aspired to be like. And I think whenever they're closer in age like that, it makes a really close bond between you and your teammates. And the people that I teach now, the kids especially, I know that they're a few years younger than me, but I see that they're looking at my every move, and I know that I'm inspiring them in a lot of different ways. So I mean, I'm very happy to be in that position where I'm able to run a program with a lot of kids from different ages, and they're able to look up to somebody that has similar goals and similar dreams. So I think that's where my head's at now, is just like trying to bring up those next few kids and put them on the same career path that I was whenever I was younger.
You're doing incredible work through both your teaching and your competition. So, is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap up this podcast?
No, I just want to say thank you to everyone for the support. I mean, I just received my black belt a few weeks ago, and I've gotten so many messages since then. So much support has been shown towards me, and man, I couldn't be any happier. And now going forward, I want to give that back. So I mean, I'm gonna keep working hard, gonna keep trying to show the best jiu-jitsu that I can to help give back that same support. And like I said, I'm working on a lot of new projects right now as a competitor and as a teacher, and that stuff will all be announced soon. So I'm happy to share that stuff in the coming months.
Thank you so much for your time today, Cole. We really appreciate it. If you guys want to watch Cole compete at the IBJJF Absolute Grand Prix in his super fight, that's going to go down Friday, September 1st. You can watch it exclusively on Flow Grappling. Thanks again, Cole. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Thank you, man. We'll see you soon.